Hello, hello, hello. Welcome now, Stock Trades. How's everybody doing today? It's been a while since we made a video. It's been 10 days. Yeah, so very quick. Last video I made 10 days ago, I got the flu and it was really bad. I got hit hard. But you know what's interesting? My body was aching, but my mind was still there. So I was able to code and work hard. So I've been basically pushing the platform forward. Um, so let's just go ahead and go through the comments real quick. How's everybody doing? Hello, hello. Who bought the dip? Who sold? It was a time to sell. Look at it, sinking ship. Goodbye, guys. Just joking, huh? Good evening, and what a better way to get ready for work than Al and Alive. Let's go. An AI. You know what? Just call me AI stock trades, right? Yeah, I mean that's it's unfortunate here that people think this way, but yeah, it shows how people are salty. That's how I know that we're not at the market top right now. When people instantly turn bearish, it's actually a pretty good contrarian signal. And yeah, Jay Crazy, I agree. I mean, so this live is about to constitute a lot of research. In fact, I actually stayed up all night to make this live. I went ahead and I read the whole case for Clover versus CMS. I read the whole case, and I'm just let me double check here. It was essentially 69 pages, so you don't have to go through those 69 pages. You can if you want, but I went ahead and I went through them, and I went ahead and generated created a sophisticated slide deck that is AI enhanced, so we could, this is really shows you the quality of the research that we're going to be doing. Obviously, for what you guys, if you guys know or don't know, I was brought into Mayo Clinic, #1 hospital in the world in Rochester, and I was a researcher. So I learned a few things when I was there, and I was brought there because of my expertise and how to break down problems and my past NREF success. So I'm really good at breaking things down in a simple, easy to understand language. So this took me a long time to create. I also went ahead and I coded something for you guys to help explain to you how right when a stock becomes a triple dragon, it goes down. You remember when back in May, when May of 2024, when the stock price was around 60 cents, and we knew that there was going to be some form of free cash flow positivity. They referenced for it, they talked about it, and but the market still dragged it down. We're like wondering what the hell is going on here. It doesn't make sense, and that's just I think this is purposely, intentionally done. And I'm going to show you kind of with AMD, Palantir examples, and I'm going to show you on a very sophisticated graph that you're going to walk out of this highly educated, right? So definitely, if you do like, I don't usually ask for hitting the like button and subscribing, but I spent a lot of time on this here. This is going to be one of the best, most informative lives that I've probably ever created. So definitely hit the like and subscribe. Yes, so let me just go ahead and drink some coffee here. And to be quite honest with you, with the whole Clover stock price, I might switch my X account and remove. So I'm paying $1,000 a month for X. I just started doing it when Elon got pushback from Disney. But I think with the stock price being this low, and if it goes any lower, let's say, I think I might actually stop. I might actually sell this watch. This is a gold watch. I mean, I'm thinking about getting rid of this. Well, this will give me at least. I'm thinking of shares now. This will give me at least 10,000 shares of Clover, and I think it's just right now. It's just more than ever. I'm thinking about this. With that said, let's go ahead and get to work. And let's put in the details. So as you can see, the stock price is 204. You might ask yourself and say, Al, it's actually higher today. This proves to you that I was actually working on this whole thing yesterday. And now you see how it updated. Same thing with this. It's going to update now. I'm going to go ahead and hit. You see this? It's completely. You see how it says 176. Now it's 131. Yeah. So I went ahead, unfortunately, my plan was to do this last night at 2, 3 a.m. But I didn't finish until 5, 6 a.m. So I was like, you know what, man, I need to go to sleep. So definitely enjoy this. A lot of work. So year to date, Clover Health. In fact, let's go ahead and put Oscar and then put alignment. Late at night here, so I'm probably going to go ahead and do this just to kind of just do a very quick, stock price check. So year to date, Clover's down 11.62%. United year to date is down 17.76%. Okay, so let's put this here. Oh boy, Molina's down 26.19%. Humana's down 26.67%. And then Oscar is down 18. Oh no, I just accidentally closed off Clover. Is down 18%. And then alignment, I think, is up 7%. So alignment's in the lead here. And we're going to be talking about alignment. We're going to make a dedicated video and really trying to break down why they're doing well. We talked about it before, and they're an outlier when it comes to the star ratings and whatnot. And I actually want them to keep going up because they're going to be a pathway for Clover to go up. If that makes sense, all tides raise the boat, right? That's why, all these other healthcare stocks getting dragged down. Clover's getting dragged down with it. Also, alignment would have been a higher up more. Okay. So from that though, let's see what happened in the past 5 days, or at least let's say the month. The past month, Humana is down 30%. Molina is down 28.7%, and then United is down 20%. Oscar is down 25.91%, and then Clover is down 21%. Now, again, Clover is, it was done pretty, it fell drastically, right? 1 month, obviously, there's a divergence here. Alignment is actually up. So, what's going on? Why are healthcare stocks getting hurt again this year? And I'm going to explain that in these set of tabs, but I'm kind of want to walk you through these tabs in an organized fashion here. So, if you don't recall, Vivek posted on January 30th that, hey, keep an eye out who's complaining about Centers of Medicare, CMS's MAP-D. Now, MAP-D stands for Medicare Advantage Part D, right? 2027 Advance Rate Notice, and who's not. So, it's funny because yesterday, Molina Healthcare is planning to exit the traditional Medicare Advantage Part D in 2027. So, you're seeing a lot of disruption happening here, and it's quite really interesting. Now, in terms of Molina, I do believe Molina is, more so it's Medicaid than it's Medicare Advantage. It's actually a pretty good one to look at, and it's actually backed up by Dr. Burry's analysis, which I looked at, and I actually agree, and actually learned something from it, that it can translate to Clover on a very bullish scale, which I'm going to release in the Molina video. So stay tuned for that. Okay. So, yes, we're starting to get some talent coming back to Clover. This gentleman used to work at Clover back in its 2018, 2020 days when it showed amazing momentum from it basically getting attention from Google and getting that plus $3 billion evaluation. So this guy's coming back, and I'm sure he's, I think he's in the New York area. He's going to end up probably most likely expanding physician recruitment, and it's going to be great. And I think him with Blaine, I love Blaine. Blaine, if you're watching this video, you have a smile that can, better than Tucker Carlson. I can tell you that, right? A beautiful smile, right? Every time I looked at your LinkedIn page, all I see is you should add a little thing where one of your tooth like sparkles, like it's like that, right? You could sell anything, man, right? Right? It's like, hey, sell me this coffee, right? It's AI powered, right? You remember that meme with the pen, right? So we're starting to see talent coming back. Now, this is Cassandra, Dr. Burry here, and shout out to Dr. Burry. Thank you for mentoring me and everything that you've done. So that's very good. But it's another thing I wanted to share with you guys here. Is it wrong? I get happy seeing charts like that, and even happier when I know that that I own shares in the company. So someone said this is very painful, and then Burry saying, is it wrong that I get happy seeing this, and even more happy that I own shares in this company? So you might be asking yourself, what is he talking about? Like, why is he getting happy? And why do I get happy when the Clover stock price is down? I've gotten a lot of DMs, a lot of people saying, "Are you still in Clover? What are your thoughts?" Just the people are like, asking me. And again, guys, I'm not a financial advisor, and so I can't personally respond to you because again, I'm not licensed in anything finance, right? I'm a medical doctor, right? But I've been doing this for over 10 years, but for my own sake, and I've done, I would say really well for myself, going from where I came from, homelessness. But what I do have to say is, when the stock price goes down, I have to look at the fundamentals in my thesis, right? And if the fundamentals and thesis haven't changed, then of course I'm going to get happy, right? So that's kind of the thing here, right? So I'm really happy. And unfortunately, the stock market is really the only place. This is some psychological vaccine I can give you right now. The stock market is the only place where if the price of something goes down that you paid for it cheaper, you get sad. And this is a bit funny because let's say, for example, you bought a Porsche, and if the Porsche goes down, you get upset. You're like, okay, but you still can go drive the Porsche. So it's easier for you to basically say, I still have something. But it's you buy something and it goes down in value. But let's say, because Porsches are kind of expensive, let's say like you buy like a suit and the suit costs $100-$200. This is like a cheap suit, right? And then let's say the suit, goes down to like 10, a shirt, let's say a shirt. This, the shirt goes down to $10, right? $5. Aren't you going to buy more of them? Of course you're going to buy more of them, right? You don't go out there and say, this is a terrible shirt. I'm going to go ahead and toss it in the trash. This shirt's a POS. I don't want the shirt. I don't want people to see me in this shirt. It's because you somewhat kind of understand the value of clothing, right? Because you kind of, seen what clothing is, and you've seen many years of how clothing is priced. So you kind of understand the value of it, right? In terms of the brand and all that. But the issue with the stock market is people see the price of everything, but the value of nothing, because they don't know what value even is, right? And that's what the issue is. You need the data, right? So there's that. Now, Molina reported, and they actually were negative net income this quarter. The revenue was 11.38 billion, 8.5% year-to-year increase. They beat by 480 million. They're guiding about 42 billion this year, with only around $5, greater than $5, greater than equal to the $5 earnings per share, which unfortunately is a lot lower than what Wall Street has predicted, right? So it's that's why the stock's down. But really, this is a fix in weight play. Obviously, and Andrew should have done this. They should have pulled guidance, but they were confident. It's just with the Part D and everything. But this gentleman didn't pull guidance, so he really perturbed Wall Street. But I think in the next 2-3 years, Molina is going to be a wonderful stock to own. And I think in the next 5 years, Molina is going to be trading over $800 to $1,000. Right. So even higher, right? I would say, right. Max maybe 1,200, but I would say Molina is one of those stocks, right? Okay. Now here, okay. Citation goes out to Tartan Blaster from StockTwits. It's kind of funny, these names. And so he actually posted this, and I just wanted to go ahead and cite the person because I'm an academic, and we always like to cite people that actually have done good due diligence rather than take, because that's what people do on Twitter, which is kind of disgusting. But with that, February 5th, I went ahead and posted this at around 5:17 a.m. So this is from the CMS website, and it shows early adopters versus all pledges. You have Clover Health as all pledges. Now, I just find this quite interesting. Why didn't they put Clover Health as an early adopter? It's kind of like hilarious, I would say, because like Clover's kind of leading this thing, but it just shows you kind of where CMS is at, really, especially with this lawsuit. I'm sure they're a bit salty. Now, shout out to Shant. And we should probably go over this video and record it and kind of do my reaction. I've already seen it, so it's not going to be like something I haven't seen before. So I'm going to explain to you kind of what I think about it. But the Greek guy was meeting with the CMS head under Trump's administration, and you could tell there was a little bit of a contention. They're like, well, these lawsuits slow us down, indirectly hinting. But again, CMS, you're taking more than around $150 million of potential funding from us. I mean, we're going to have to fight for it. We're not going to let this go. And, you guys are low on lawyers, and we're actually trying to help you decrease costs. So, CMS, if I was you, I would go in and just, bow out and let Clover win this one, because at the end of the day, if Clover wins, you guys win because of the whole, upcoding practices and everything that Clover is doing. But I'm glad that Clover's being shown here, which is actually really good. And then, again, I'm sorry, Grant. I'm sorry, Grant. I probably shouldn't be talking. I shouldn't be talking on the live right now to add more attention to you. But I'm the type of guy that, if you've done the hard work, you deserve the credit, right? You deserve the credit, right? So I'm gonna just kind of spend some time on Grant here. So Grant doesn't have too many followers. Go ahead and follow him. Give him a follow. Go read what he says. Go look at his fund. Go give him, he's obviously more of an expert than I am. I'm a nobody. But he's followed by Chamath, Social Capital, Vivek, and good old Rapala here, and probably more people. I just don't follow a lot of people, so these are people that I follow. I'm sure he's followed by a lot of great folks. So you might be asking, who the hell is this guy? Well, this guy used to be the vice president of JP Morgan Chase's healthcare investing group. This guy's really very smart, and very, very young looking. He looks very young, but I'm sure he's probably old, because of his experience. But if not, then holy shit, congrats. But you look very young, dude, which is really cool. I'm good genes, right? But it's probably not something that you thought I would talk about you. But so this is what happens when you let Al ramble. But I do wanted to point this. I did cover up his email, and I did cover up because I don't want you guys, I just this is too much. But this was back in 2021. He was talking about Clover Health, Oscar, and he was the head of this, right? And he was doing this research. And then after that, Chamath Palihapitiya tapped him in because then he worked for Social Capital. So he may have been the person that have been able to bring Clover into fruition. Now, why am I talking about him? Well, he commented. He said, "This is huge. Rocket ship, rocket ship, rocket ship." So that's pretty good, right? And I'll leave it there. I'll leave it there. Okay. So, and Grant, if you're watching, I just want to say, hey, great job. I mean, in this world, people don't really thank people, and they don't really acknowledge people. I just want to say I acknowledge you. You did a wonderful job. And out of all the subscribers that watch the channel and all the lifetime access members, just want to say thank you. That's it. All right. Now, I went ahead and I published this on February 4th through 2:23 p.m. This was like SaaS bubble bursting. I talked about the SaaS index. It's been falling down. Now, a lot of people misinterpreted this as dead. I try not to use the word death or dead, but it's SaaS dead. A lot of people say these things to get clicks. We try to basically didn't say that, but we're seeing it. It's not, SaaS is not dead. We're just seeing a transition point between the SaaS index to AI as a service, right? And let me try to see if I can explain this to you guys in a really easy to understand language here, okay? So and I can only speak about my company here, Al Stock Trades. So what we're doing right now, and this is going to make sense, is there's a reason why I don't offer subscription, right? Because one is lifetime access is actually a really good way for you to take your time to see what we're trying to teach. We're really trying to teach a lifestyle, almost like working out, right? You really can't just like get skinny and buff. You really got to change everything about yourself. How you waste money, calculating what goes in and out, really becoming a CFO of your life and a CEO as well, all in one, right? And that takes time, right? And most people think they just buy and hold and, think that God is going to make you rich, right? It doesn't work that way, right? You really got to put in the work. So from that, the way I'm doing this and the way I'm designing this, my own company is, we're going to have lifetime access where you get access to the data, right? And then we're going to have a morphable terminal. Like, what the hell is a morphable terminal? So you remember the Terminator movie? I forget which one. I think it was Terminator 2, maybe. I think so. Yeah, I think it was Terminator 2. John Connor and Arnold came back to go see him. There was another bad guy, the Terminator. And, when you shoot him, he turned into goo. He morphed. versus the Arnold Terminator was an old T1 system, which was all metal. It doesn't really like heal it like that. So the stock terminal is going to be like that new Terminator that is able to morph, and it's going to turn into goo, and it's going to morph around your brain, right? Now, what the hell is Al talking about? I'm being serious, right? I'm not joking, right? So you're going to be able to basically talk to the AI, and you're going to say, listen, I want you to be able to do this for me, and I need you to use the Al Stock Trades 2.5 billion outputs of institutional graded data to be able to create me a terminal that does this, right? You're going to be able to do that with what I'm trying to create. And you can see the transition now. It's no longer SaaS, it's AI as a service, right? Because it morphs into what you want, right? And just to give you just a very quick, here's the thing that I worked on that I'm going to be showing you that is going to be basically, I'm going to inject the vaccine in your brain right now. You're going to be very educated. But what I wanted to do, I'm just going to stop the sharing of the screen right now, and I'm going to just go ahead and go ahead and share the audio version of if I can freaking find it here, the audio version here. I'm going to go ahead and share this, and what I'm going to do is what I would like is this is the Al Stock Trades website, and I want you to see how fast we are moving in this AI revolution. And remember, I'm just giving you one example, and then you could see that a lot of people are going down this route, including Clover. Because remember, if you go look at my Google Scholar, it shows that I'm an expert in, artificial intelligence, disparities, neurogenomics. Artificial intelligence, people just toss around. And obviously, I programmed this whole thing all on my own. I'm a full stack developer that's not trained by college. I just learned it myself. But I just want to give you an example of how fast we're moving with this. So just like, go ahead and check this out here. I'm just going to go ahead and just reload this page, and you can see a complete change in how the stock terminal, the website looks now. So I'm just going to go ahead and just shut myself and just listen to Jarvis.
I am Jarvis, the artificial intelligence created by Dr. Al to be your weapon against Wall Street. Institutions pay $30,000 a year for data and tools that crush retail traders every single day. I process 2.5 billion institutional grade data points. I identified SoFi at $4.54, Palantir at $6.50. I do not guess. I do not sleep. And now, I work for you.
I'm going to go ahead and just turn them off right now. But you could see where we're headed, and you can see the level of detail that we have now. This is Al Stock Trade. This is Al Stock Trades' software. And a lot of folks are saying, it's not, Al is not a software company. He doesn't own. Again, mastering software. Do you see any courses here? No, but we do. You have to have some lessons on how to use the software, right? So we have that. But you can see that this line here is Jarvis, right? That's the AI, scanning, right? So, so you can see it's a very, it's a brand new world, right? And you could see now from the front end, because I don't like to invest on the front end where you guys see. I'm investing in the back end, which is why a lot of lifetime access members are happy. So now you're going to see now, how good this looks, right? You're pretty much going to be able to see. Just go ahead and load here. You're going to be able to see. Let's just dismiss Jarvis now. You're going to be able to see kind of the how this works, right? And whatchamacallit, just the whole terminal, right? You see this, who am I? All these things. You see these news articles here, everything that I've done, right? So it's a completely different look. So the point is you're seeing how fast we are revolutionizing what's happening. And so with that, let me just go ahead and just go ahead and share the screen here. Now that you understand kind of like how this looks like, now let's go back to the SaaS bubble, okay? And let's try to break this down, right? I'm giving you an example. So now you see in your mind how the stock terminal looks like. Now let me go ahead and just kind of take this to the next level. So issue is now is, are people really going to go ahead and go to Yahoo Finance or, Bloomberg Terminal and pay those monthly subscriptions? No. In fact, this week or 2 weeks ago, FactSet and Bloomberg, in terms of their relative value, they've actually gone down in value, right? And that's because AI is disrupting everything, right? Including finance, right? So the issue is, back in the day, is getting the data and having the computational power to run the data was very expensive. But now we're getting GPUs and CPUs that are really now elevated because the GPUs are making the CPUs even better. AI is making the CPUs even way better, the wafer technologies and whatnot. And you have RAM being injected into computers that I've never seen before, over 500 gigabytes of RAM. The computational power now is allowing us to be able to create something that is morphable, right? So instead of having a SaaS company that is just, the reason why people like SaaS is because it's just free cash flow juggernaut machine. It just gives you free cash flow. And the problem is now this free cash flow is getting disrupted because now a company could basically make their own software, right? So I'll give you an example. Why am I going to be paying for Adobe? Like, why? Why am I going to be paying for Adobe, dude? Right? When I could just go ahead and make it myself. Like, why am I paying for DocuSign when I could just make it myself internally for the company? Now, of course, there's some legal stuff. There's probably some legal protections. But you can have a group of 2-3 people now go ahead and build your own internal Adobe system and save the company millions of dollars and just fire Adobe. In fact, I'm actually curious and again, I don't know the stock. I haven't looked at the stock. Yeah, you see, why do you think Adobe's crashing 19%? Adobe stock slides as AI software megadon drags on, right? Adobe is falling. It's falling because people see now, what is the moat of Adobe now? What is Adobe's moat? There is no AI is destroying the moat of businesses that have been historically SaaS. So now what Adobe needs to do, well, there's a lot of things they need to do, but Adobe needs to be able to figure out a way of how they can do AI as a service, right? Okay, fine. You make us and help us open up the documents. You convert the documents. You help us edit the documents. But is that all that you do? Are you going to serve me? Are you going to be able to give me something new that's specific to my company? Right? It doesn't. And it needs to do that, because if it's not personalizable, then it's not going to be successful. You see, and also, what data does Adobe have? Does Adobe have any data that's concrete to itself, that's proprietary to itself? It doesn't, right? Look at HIMS, right? HIMS was a really good intrinsic value trade. We go to 24, it went up to 60, done, and then now look where it's at. It's getting hit hard, and we'll see kind of where that goes, right? So again, I'm spending time on this because I really want us to just kind of like take this and chop up the onions, chop up the tomatoes, and chop up the garlic and smash the avocados and make some guacamole, right? I really want to just kind of take some time here, right? So we can make some good guacamole, right? So and yes, I've been eating some guacamole in the past couple of days. That's probably I have the analogy, but I just want to put some mental capacity into this and really just draw this out. So Adobe doesn't transform shit. It doesn't, like, what does it do? What does DocuSign do for me? Right? I can make my own DocuSign. Okay. So you have, and what data, like, for example, for us, our company, we have our own data. We have our own data. And what do we do with the data? We transform the data. And now we're in the next level, the AI level, where it's trained on our own models, where it's essentially wrapping itself around what you want. And you can ask anything now, and you'll be able to morph the terminal to your needs. So let's say, for example, you see, I'll give you an example. Let's say you see Tom Lee make a graph, and you're like, man, I really like Tom Lee's graph. I like the way he did that. You could say, hey, Al Stock Trades Terminal, I want you to be able to make that graph. Do what you need to do. Use the 2.5 billion outputs of institutionally graded data. And if you don't have that data, go out there and go get it using the Al Stock Trades. Again, and how the hell do you think I do that? How do you think my system will be able to do that? My system will be able to listen to you, be able to go out there and get the data, process it, and push it through the system, and then give it to you, right? So you can see now how it's very personalizable. Okay, so now that we went ahead and we talked about this whole SaaS bubble and AI as a future, now let's talk about Clover Health. Okay, so Vivek hit this. Generalized AI versus outcome specific AI. Listen, guys, and so now let's talk about this whole AI counterpart, right? With Vivek, right? So what the hell is he talking about? All right, so I can go ahead and I can take my health data as a patient now, and I can put it in ChatGPT, and ChatGPT can give me high quality explanations on my data. Is it going to do anything other than that? Right. And so the thing is, a lot of people, they can't think that their mental models are crap. They argue these little things, and they don't zoom out, and they say, okay, well, the time that I'm spending arguing this, is it really going to change the outcome of what's going on? People don't have that, and that's a skill. You'll learn that, right? So let's just kind of investigate this. If I talk to ChatGPT, I give it my data, the most easiest answer for people will say, Clover's done. That's it. Because their brain gets fatigued, it gets overridden, and their brain doesn't have the necessary skills to break things down mentally better. Okay? So this whole generalized explanation about my data, that's all it's going to do. It's not going to do anything else. What is it going to be doing that can help me? It can say, go to the doctor. It could say, maybe you can order this test or that test. It's not trained on specific data. Clover pulls in your lab reports, your radiology reports, your everything, and it de-silos all of the objective data that other doctors collect to give you actionable insights at the point of care. Now, these are all buzzwords. What does that even mean? Well, it gives you outcome-specific knowledge, right? And that's the service part. That's the AI as the service, right? That's what you're paying for. You're no longer paying for something that does a task. AI does the task for you. We don't care about that anymore. If you're a company just completing tasks, then you're done. If you're an employee just doing tasks, then you're done. If you're a receptionist watching this and all you do is copy and paste in Excel, copy here, organize the calendar, you're done. You are done. You understand? You're gone. You're fired. Bye. You're done. You need to now be able to take whatever that data that AI gives you and all the tasks that it gives you, and you need to go into the physical world and massage it. You need to go with the data that you have in the physical world, and you need to move the physical world with the actionable data that you get from AI. If you're not changing the physical world, then you're done. Software engineers in the next 2 years will be obsolete. They're done. Receptionists are done. Just like those booking agents, they're done. You understand me? All right. Let me drink some coffee. All right, so there's that. Okay, so now that you know like how the website looks like, you can see the website's and it's very sexy, right? And believe it or not, we still have our coupon New Year's. It's still active because I was sick. I haven't canceled it yet. So it's still there. So take advantage because we will be whoppingly increasing our prices by $1,000. I think we're going to pop our prices up by $1,000 plus. So take advantage because, again, you can see where we're headed. You can see the website. You can see something different now. We look like an actual company, don't we? Right? Exactly. Right. So, all right. So very quickly, this is from the Al Stock Trades Command Center. This is Jarvis himself. I went ahead and I asked him, I said, I need you to go ahead and show me any time a new Fed chair came online, what happened to the stock market 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, and 1 year after. And it went from, Eugene Meyer, September 1930, 1933, 1934. You probably remember Ben Bernanke, 2006, Janet Yellen, 2014, Jerome Powell, 2018. And what it shows is the market actually goes down. The market actually goes down because what ends up happening is the market doesn't know how the Federal Reserve is going to respond. Is the Federal Reserve going to jack up interest rates? Because that's not good for the stock market. And, so the market's going to be testing the Fed. And the question that we have to ask ourselves really is, Donald Trump, is he going to pick someone that's going to be kind of somewhat neutral or hawkish? This Walsh guy, I think his name was Walsh. I think he might be a little hawkish, right? So I think the market's kind of like digesting that reality. He might actually, not drop interest rates as much as we can, but Wall Street's hoping for that because we call that a Fed put. It means that the economy, the Federal Reserve is going to come in for to the rescue. So with that. You can argue the stock market's going to be down by the end of the year. I don't believe that. I do believe there's going to be a session where we're going to dip hard. There's going to be a hard dipping that's going to happen. But remember, the first 5 days of these are like hedge fund rules, right? The first 5 days of January and the first month of January were both positive, meaning that about 9 out of 10 times the market is going to end the year positive, which I believe, I do believe that. So we are going to end the year positive, but the question now is, are we going to have some, tumult? It's not going to be up every month, right? But ultimately it is going to be up, but you're going to have a dip in the between that, just like April 2025. A lot of retail investors were like freaking tossing the towel and saying it was a recession and yada, 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 right? That wasn't the case. Okay. All right. So there's that. We talked about this. And then, again, I'm just trying, we haven't talked to you in a while right now. There's a lot of information here. And we're just trying to basically go ahead and give you this. Again, this is why the videos are long, because look how many tabs I'm discussing, right? This is not knowledge. So, yeah, we'll talk about all these here later. We'll talk about this one later. We can skip that. Now, Clover Health announces 53% growth in Medicare Advantage, increasing to 153,000 members January 1st, 2026. Expects first year ever full year GAAP net income profitability. That's pretty damn good, okay? So now we're going to talk about Triple Dragons right now, and then we're going to talk about this lawsuit case. Just letting you know, this looks good. I spent a lot of time on this, okay? So we're going to be, again, this is going to be a long live. This is probably going to be an hour and a half long live, okay? And if you guys want it shorter, then you're not getting the best knowledge. You're not getting, this is what it takes. It took me like 10 hours to make this live. Okay. So if you really appreciate it, hit the like button, subscribe and all that, because it really helps out the channel. Okay. Now, all right. Okay. So another thing I want to talk about, we have more than 150% growth rate for Counterpart in terms of the third-party customer clinicians, representing hundreds of them, right? And each patient panel, each doctor has around maybe 1,500 to 2,000 patients that they serve. And I'm underestimating it, right? So there's a lot of patients being flown into Counterpart right now, okay? And a lot of, retail investors unfortunately forget what's going on, but that's my alpha. I drink their fear and I make money off of their fear, right? Okay. Now, oh yeah. for folks that are like, what does Al know about AI? Well, this is a paper I'm going to be publishing. You can go ahead and see for yourself. I went ahead and I took a bunch of brain scans, and I went ahead and took and I had them get trained, and you can see the training model. This is just 6 rounds of training. I'm going to publish the other data set where I trained at about 60 rounds, each round costing around 45 minutes of compute. So altogether, it's about 45 hours of training. The machine learning model that we had, we're using Python. So I'll be publishing that, and it's actually pretty good. And one of them is actually clinically grade, which is pretty cool in terms of detection. So I just wanted to just kind of show you in terms of AI, like what do I know about AI, right? So you guys know, right? All right. So now Wall Street Journal. Now, what we got to figure out, in the beginning, I asked, why are all these healthcare stocks essentially down? Like what's going on, right? And again, this was obviously, it's up, but yesterday, it was down, right? So it used to be 250, right? So like, why is it down, right? So, so the Trump administration proposes keeping steady the rates of Medicare around, how it pays insurances for Medicare Advantage, about maybe 0.09%. It's less than what Wall Street expected. So a lot of, there's a problem, right? And this is going to cause issues. And what's happening is insurers warn flat 2027 rates could drive benefit cuts and market exits. And that's going to hurt a lot of patients. And I think one of the there was a saying in here. I read this article, and I'm trying to find the actual line here. So just bear with me. Yeah. So this is pretty good. I think this is what I wanted to show you. So it said, flat program funding at a time of sharply rising medical costs and high utilization of care will impact senior coverage. Bond says, if finalized, this proposal could result in benefit cuts and higher costs for 35 million seniors and people with disabilities when they renew their, Medicare Advantage. So there's going to be lapses in care. People, a lot of these insurers are essentially going to exit their, some areas. And what's going to end up happening is, if this happens, then this is going to have, you're going to have millions of seniors that are not going to be insured. And guess what? Clover can take those seniors. So you're starting to see that this disruption curve is continual, is happening even more now. And if you think the disruption is not going to hurt everybody, it's hurting us right now in our portfolio, right? But the thing is, you have to have some form of disruption affect everybody at first, and then the winner, and then the winners will arise, right? That's how it works, So this is good, right? Because the more these, because this is the rule. This is like the legal stuff. Okay, so I think this is how it works, right? Correct me if I'm wrong, everybody. But Humana, United, Molina, all of them, they need to have around 85% MCR, right? And the government can't say, well, we don't give a shit about you. You can, we don't care, right? We don't care about your 94% MCR, and you can't do anything. Well, actually, the insurance companies can do something. They can actually pull out of high utilization markets, and they could say, listen, it's our legal obligation to get to 85% MCR in order to run as a business. And if you're not basically going to be happy, if you're not going to help us, then we're just going to go ahead and leave these markets. And we're just going to go in, and we're just going to go into 85% MCR territory. And we're going to say, screw all the other states that cost us a lot of money. And, those states can go ahead and sue the government for lack of healthcare, right? They have the power of doing that. And But there's an issue here, is that they're going to lose billions of dollars of pre-adjusted market control that another company like Alignment and Clover can pick up, right? Or Oscar, depending if it's a Medicaid. So this is kind of the disruption that I was basically talking about, right? Now, after this rate notice happened, Blaine went ahead and posted this. He said, while others in the MA world are having a bad week, the new CMS risk adjustment guidance has me giddy at Counterpart Health. Counterpart Assistant output fits the new model perfectly, creating the mandatory clinical evidence before coding is addressed. CA is incubated inside a health plan by Doctors for Doctors, kind of like Divide, right? As opposed to others who really just Divide is Andrew Toy's past company that he sold to Google for over $100 million. We'll make an episode about Divide and what that was on future subsequent episodes, but Andrew Toy has a really good skill of taking two things and putting them into one. Let's put it that way. So CA is incubated within the inside of a healthcare plan, by Doctors for Doctors, as opposed to others who are really just provider leverage plays to extract from plans without understanding what a plan needs to win, in the long term. So otherwise, entirely goofy AI rebrands with the highest PPO and even versus HMO. So he does star ratings in the country. So if I'm planning, if I have a plan reeling today, Counterpart will be my first call. And yeah. So whenever you have the whole market crash and you have someone saying, this gets me really excited and giddy. Let me go ahead and define what giddy is. We have people from other parts of the world that are like, what the hell does giddy even mean? Let's define what giddy means. Giddy is having a sensation of whirly and a tendency to fall. No, it's not this one. It's America, there's like two definitions per word, right? In English, right? So make someone feel excited to the point of disorientation. He's just so happy, right? And this is what you're looking for. Okay, now, then Vicky is on a hiring spree. She's like, I'm looking for this. This lady, this lady is like she's freaking strong. She's a strong woman, man. She's strong as hell, right? She's like, I need this. I need this. I need to hire this. This lady's about to hire the whole world, right? And then, Blaine said, come join Vicky. Our team at Counterpart Partnerships, Counterpart Health Partnerships are expanding at breakneck speed. These words, breakneck speed, or unremitting growth and partnership at Counterpart Health. It's just these word choices. Focus on them. Okay. Now, let's go ahead and let's talk about the Dragon terminal analysis. So the reason why I wasn't able to make a live yesterday was because I was working on this and also this. This was hard. Let me explain. Let me take a quick break. Let me go ahead and look at the comment section, and let's take a quick break. Al's cuter than Blame. That's so funny. All right. So no questions, I see. All right. Let me just drink some water. All right. Now we are going to change. We're going to change topics now to the Dragon analysis terminal. Okay. I'm going to change my tone. Okay. All I ask you is don't be stupid and don't fall for these Wall Street tricks. Remember, Wall Street does not care about you. Okay. The system does not care about you. Institutions do not care about you. They don't give a damn. I was on the street and no one gave a shit about me. Okay. Institutions don't give a shit. They don't care. You're just a number. You're just a student ID. That's what I've learned. There are obviously a handful of institutions out there that put God first that I believe are different. But, a lot of things, corporate America in general, does not give a shit about you. Okay. Wall Street is complicated. High frequency trading is complicated. Okay. To a point where the politicians don't even know how to regulate it because they don't understand it. There's a lot of shady shit that happens in Wall Street. Okay. They want you to sell. They want your shares at a cheaper price. And I'm going to show you past companies that have become triple dragons. What is a triple dragon? Is when a company gets operational free cash flow positivity, and net income positivity. I went ahead and trademarked the name Dragon Analysis Terminal because this is we're the only people that talked about it. It's trademarked, and whoever uses it, I'll ask my legal team to go hunt them down. Right? This is our very own creation. Okay. So let's go ahead and let's showcase the overall terminal. So let's go ahead and let's look at Palantir. We load up Palantir, and we're going to go down here. Okay. There are two versions of and this will be released to lifetime access members by the end of the video. Okay. So you guys will be able to use this terminal on your computers and soon on your phones. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and let's look at Palantir. And there's a dragon drop and a dragon gain. We're going to look at when they turned triple dragons. What was the stock price before? So we press this and we get this beautiful writing here. Okay. So if we go ahead and look at the all-time high. So first off, Palantir, because that's what we're looking at, became a triple dragon in 2023. Right here. That's when it became a triple dragon. Okay. Within 12 months of that, the stock price was $5.84. In fact, let me just go ahead and zoom in so you can see better. So it became a triple dragon in 2023. And the stock price, within 12 months of that triple dragon range, it was $5.84. Well, if you look at before, the all-time high of Palantir was $45. So Palantir price, the stock dropped from $45 all the way down to $5.84. You see that? It dropped 87%. Okay. Then you have basically B-Rob and a lot of folks say, oh, it's down, it's down, it's down. Listen, guys, you guys are, again, I've shown you guys this, but I've showed it to you on, the Google here, the Google charts. And I understand that my mind works differently than yours. I'm able to see things and I'm able to graph things and I'm able to construct a whole nation in my head. And sometimes people don't have that gift. So I went ahead and I said, let me go ahead and create a software that is able to reconstruct what I see in my mind so you can see it. So your mind is able to see it. Okay. Now beautifully though, if you look now, what happened after it became a triple dragon? Well, that's interesting. Now you look at the gain. So right when it went from $5.84 to when it became to the highest point of the triple dragon, it gained 3,453.4%, aka a 34 bagger, greater than a 10 bagger, and it gained $207.52. Okay. Now let's go ahead and let's type in Clover. Now Clover is a double dragon as it shows you its current status. Now what I want to do is I want to take us a look at when it became a double dragon and how much did it drop. So the double dragon happened here in 2024. The double dragon happened here. Within 12 months of that double dragon, the stock price was 61 cents. Now, if you go ahead and look at the all-time high and watch this, this is pretty cool. You can actually move this around so you can look at this, and it labels it for you. That's the power of the AL Stock Trades terminal. Okay, this is not child's play. Okay, we are creating things that hedge funds have access to, and now you have access to. Okay, so Clover had an all-time high of $28.85. And that's with the disturbingness of the squeeze, which is insane, right? I think it would have been down here. The squeeze just artificially increased it. But from that, it went from $28.85 down to 61 cents. That was a negative 97.9% decrease, right? And right when it was about to become a double dragon, it fell even more. Almost like Wall Street says, let's bring this down more. Let's bring it down to hell so they can sell. Let's try to squeeze these dumb, poor retail investors so their wives get mad at them. Let's try to just make them look like shit. Let's make them feel like shit. Let's use their insecurity against them and their lack of financial literacy knowledge and their lack of data to let's just drive the stock price down, short it to oblivion. And right within that 12-month cycle of it being a double dragon, they don't know that's coming because they don't have the data, right? Let's drag it down and let's go ahead and bring it down just like they brought Palantir down, right? But then as soon as it became a double dragon, Clover went from 61 cents all the way, and we can just basically shift this here so you can see, Clover went from 61 cents all the way to $4.87 for a 703.6% return. That is a 7-bagger, okay? A 7-bagger, right? And unfortunately, the diseased retail investor with their uncephalized frontal lobe will basically say, well, now it's dropped, okay? Now, what did I tell you about Palantir? Okay, let's go ahead and look at Palantir. Okay. Palantir, when it was a triple dragon, it went from $45 down to $5.84 before it went up 30, over 30 bags. Okay. Over 3,000%. Now, if you look at the double dragon, it basically fell. Technically it should be from here, but it was not within 12 months. It fell around 49%, technically more because the all-time high was here. It's basically showing here, but it's within a 12-month standpoint. It actually was from here, right? And that's just within months, they try to drag it down. They knew it was going to be a double dragon in 2021, and they try to basically drag it down. And a lot of retail investors, kept buying more. A lot of them sold, unfortunately. So then once Palantir announced that they're going to be GAAP profitable in 2023, they dragged it down even more. Okay. So you can see, how this is. And, someone basically says, hard to think, Clove can move like Palantir. Well, again, I'm not saying that it can, but we can just use the past to prognosticate potentially the future. And you can see that Clover went from 61 cents to $4.87. Okay. And that is a 703% return. Okay. That's a 700% return from just a double dragon increase. Okay. If we look at a double dragon increase for this guy, obviously, that's 1,100% return, right? So definitely, huge, right? It's up to that caliber, right? So did Palantir move like Clover when it became a double dragon? Can the software show that? Well, yeah, look here. So look at basically PLTR. And if you look at PLTR, when it became a double dragon, it became a double dragon here. The stock price dipped, of course, but from $17 to So instead of saying $5 to 200, we're saying $17 to 200. And that's an 1,100% return. So yes, it did move. You can see it right in front of your eyes here. Pause the video. It did increase when it became a double dragon. But what hedge funds did and what Wall Street did is, because in 2022 we had a bear market, right, for tech stocks. They drove the stock price from $17 down to $5. They made it go even lower, even if it was a double dragon. And as soon as Clover became a triple dragon, and it was becoming a triple dragon here from a quarterly perspective, they still dragged the stock price down to $5.84. It's like, this thing is about to become gap profitable. It's finally about to make money. Let's drop the stock price and let's squeeze the necks out of these retail investors so they can forever be poor, because they need to be W-2 employees for the rest of their life so they can essentially work for us, and they will always be reliant on us. Okay? So you can see how this works. And my mind can graph nations. And unfortunately, I can't show you my mind, but I can program and code, and I can show you this. And hopefully this will open your mind. Now, you might be asking, I think Dish said, when you talk about W-2 employees, that hurts our feelings. And I'm just going to give you from my experience. Okay. I interviewed this year at over 90 programs in the nation. I did 90 freaking interviews plus. I did 90 interviews this year. Okay. And this is pretty statistically significant, about 10 to 20% of those interviewers asked me this. Actually, it was more than that, but really 10% to 15% said this word. They said that, I see that you're a millionaire, and we looked into you, and and you could see, kind of like my watch and my clothes, and everything that I'm wearing, how I carry myself, the car I was, car drive, all these things, right? They're all they look at those things. There's one, I remember one, and they said this a lot. I remember one instance where someone said, "You are overqualified for this position." That's what they told me. I am overqualified to be a resident. Of course, they said, "We would love to have you, but we just feel like you're overqualified." I'm overqualified, right? Isn't that funny, right? And they said that you have all this money, which gives you options. And how do I know that you're going to work as hard when you have all this money? How am I going to know you're going to work hard as a doctor taking care of patients? Believe that. I was asked that question. So what does that tell you? Well, first off, my response was, you would think so. So this was my response. My response is, you're right. I can retire now if I want. But I think it's very clear and obvious that with all that I have right now, and the fact that I am willing to take a $60,000 residency job, I think it's very clear from a logical perspective that I'm not doing it for the money. So maybe perhaps I'm not incentivized by money as others are. But again, that's me. I'm weird. I don't care about money. F money. Money is just a catalyst to decrease the activation energy for the reaction to proceed from A to B. That's not what motivates me, right? What motivates me, I mean, think about it. I can literally, like with the software right now, I've had hedge funds line up right now to want to meet with me so they can sell this and take this and sell this to their hub, right? But again, that's not what motivates me, okay? But here's the thing. So the point is, I want to just share with you something, okay? I find this very interesting. Your boss doesn't want you rich. They want you dependent. So Dish, don't get upset at me, right? And I had the flu and I was tired. I wasn't able to speak, coherently here. But don't be upset at me when I make these comments, because that's the reality. I'm just a messenger, right? Don't shoot the freaking messenger, right? I'm showing you what the system is like. from someone who went from sleeping in alleyways to be able to drink Louis the 13th, $5,000, $7,000, $8,000 bottle of cognac, right? Smoking an $80 plus cigar, right? And driving a $400,000 or $500,000 car, right? In terms of like the what's it called, a Rolls Royce and a Bentley, right? Don't come, don't kill the messenger, right? I'm just showing you what I'm seeing. Okay, they use these W-2 checks to keep you locked, and as soon as you break out, they're scared of you because they're like, whoa, this guy has resources. We can't fuck with him, right? It shows you that question gave me more insight on him than it did me and the culture of the organization. Okay. So now if you were to take this, someone who's interviewed at a lot of places, which is why I like places that put God first. I love places that do that because it's not a job. Okay. It's a calling. Now, okay. So now we can apply this to this data here, and you can see that right when a stock is about to be a triple dragon, Wall Street drags them down, right? They drag them down the hell. They drag your dreams down with you. They drag your insecurities to your face, and they make you feel incompetent. They make you feel like something is wrong. They feel like there's something is wrong with you, that you're an idiot for investing in this company, that you are a dumb moron. People sold at $5.84 for Palantir. They sold, and now it's the top 50 most valuable companies in the freaking world, or at least in the S&P 500. You understand? Now, again, I haven't looked at the other stocks here, but we could do AMD. Let's look at AMD. AMD Triple Dragon. You could see AMD here. We'll just move these around here so we can. Whoopsies. Sorry. Let me go ahead and restart the page here. Sorry about that. You can see Dragon Analysis is very beautiful. Okay. You see the dragon, how it's gold? Pretty sexy, you know? That took an hour. It took an hour. Freaking annoying. All right, let's go ahead and do this. Triple dragon. So this is a double dragon. Okay, here's the double dragon. Let's do this. Look at that. Let's just kind of we can't drag these, which is fine. We could just go ahead and do this. All right. This is AMD. AMD went from $48 down to, let me just kind of make it like this so you can see. Okay. AMD went from $48.50 down to $1.75. It dropped 96.4%, ladies and gentlemen. And as soon as it went from a double dragon to a gain, it went from $1.75 all the way to an all-time high, and it went up 15,161.7%, which is equivalent to a 151 bagger. 151 mother effing bagger. Do not let Wall Street confuse and make you not trust your instincts. Here's the analysis. We have the software goes on. From the pre-dragon phase, the stock dropped 96%. From the post-dragon phase, the stock went up 15,000% plus. Let's go ahead and let's go back to CLOV again. Let's just do the analysis here. From the pre-dragon phase of the double dragon, the stock dropped 97.9%. From the post-dragon phase, it went up 703.63%. Are you seeing this? Are you seeing this? Let's go ahead and let's look at Palantir again. Okay, let's go ahead and go here. Let's do the analysis. From the pre-dragon phase, Actually, no, let's do the triple dragon here, right? From the pre-dragon phase, they dropped it 87.02%. The post-dragon phase, it went up 3,453%. Let's go ahead and look at Dave stock. Let's see Dave. I don't know. Let's see Dave. Oh, Dave. My Dave. Dave had an all-time high of $491.07. It always ends in 7 cents. What is this, right? 6, 7, right? And then it dropped down to $4.47, a 99% reduction, negative 99.1%, just a little bit more. And they could sell hand sanitizer for negative 99.9%. So let's go ahead and look at Dave. Because remember, Dave became a triple dragon. Now, you might say, well, hey, Al, how do I determine if a stock goes and becomes a double and a triple dragon? Well, it's called the Al Stock Trades Terminal, the one that I created. Look, here's Dave. And here's your AI summary. Operational free cash flow 2023, free cash flow positivity 2023, net income in 2024. And look at the stock price here. Look at that. You see how they drop it? They drop it with your insecurities. They want you to be poor. They want you to work until you die. So now let's go ahead and do the analysis for Dave, right? All-time high was $491.07. They dropped it 99.09%. And then it went up 6,308%. A 63 bagger. Let's go ahead and look at Carvana. Let's look at this one here. Let's look at this here with the drop. Maybe we'll get a drop here. Maybe a triple dragon drop, right? All-time high of $376. They dropped it to $4.23, and it became a triple dragon here. Right before it becomes a triple dragon, they drag it down with your insecurities because they want you poor for the rest of your life. And look at this. It went from $376, and they dropped it negative 98.88%. And then they went ahead the post-dragon phase, right after they take your American dream from you. They push it up 11,410%. That's a 114 fucking bagger. This is what my mind sees, but I tried to explain it to you on a Google chart. Now you understand the nation that my mind graphs. Now you have the power of my fucking stock terminal. Now you see what I see. Let's look at Tesla. Same thing. They dropped it. It says negative 19%. Tesla's different. They have a lot of support, but they dropped it and then they went up 23,000%. Do you see this? What else? What else do you want to look at? Enphase is a little different. Enphase has lost its free cash flow generating machine because of, the Trump administration and whatnot. But let's see if we can see it here. Yeah, they dropped it 37%. And it went up 5,300%, a 53 bagger. Okay. And then if you do the triple dragon right before it became a triple dragon, you can see here right before it became a triple dragon here, all-time high was 17, dropped down to $4. It actually dropped down to $1, 70 cents. But you can see they dropped it down 74%, and then it went up 7,273%, a 72 bagger. Are you starting to see this? And this goes with the data. It explains the data when it became a double and a triple. Okay. Let me drink some water. So I hope now you see. I hope you now you see what I see. And you feel what I feel. It's a burden to have my mind. It's a burden to see what I see. And now you see what I see. And you can show this to people and they will still reject it. You can lead a horse to water, but you cannot force the horse to drink. Okay. So now we want to do this. Now we're going to talk about the Clover lawsuit. I'm going to take a quick break. Let's take a quick, let's say 5-minute break. And then I'm going to change gears. And we're going to go back to professional mode. And we're going to go ahead and talk about the lawsuit. I went through over 60 pages of the lawsuit, so you don't have to. Again, I'm not a lawyer. I'm this just for educational purposes. I'm not a lawyer, right? I used a statistical Bayesian calculation at the end to calculate the likelihood that they're going to win. Again, it's just a theoretical academic. I just wanted to see. I'll share it with you. Take it as a grain of salt. Okay. I'm gonna go wash my face. I kind of overdid it right now. Right. Let me go wash my face, and I'll come back. I'll put on some music. All right, I'm back. You know, as I went right now to calm myself down, I got myself overextended. You have to imagine having all this knowledge. You know, I have a super intelligence at my house now that I made. Having all this knowledge, you can imagine how it makes me feel. Having all these degrees, all these millions. When I see people on the street who can't even have a home. It's funny how the world works. When you don't care about money, the world gives you a lot of money. When you don't think you belong at Harvard, you get interviews at Harvard. It's a bit interesting how the world works. All right, so Mass of the Chin here said yes, CMS is hiring lawyers, maybe to assist them with the lawsuit. Who knows? Listen, I should I reach out to your brother-in-law, Dr. Oz? I know your brother-in-law. He was my letter of recommendation for the NREF. Should I reach out to him, and maybe we could maybe we can. I don't want to say anything bad here, but I guess maybe I can. I'll say it inside the Lifetime Access. It's a bit of a dark humor joke, but if you guys know me, you guys know what I was thinking probably. All right, so let's go ahead and go with this here. I got an email. Let me just check. Oh, is there anything interesting here that I need to respond to that is urgent, emergent, yada, yada, yada? No, we're good. Okay. All right. So I went through over 60 pages of lawsuit stuff, and let's go ahead. So what is Clover suing over? So Clover, and let me just make sure the mic is in the right. Okay, good. All right. So Clover says CMS calculated Clover's 2026 Medicare Advantage star ratings using measures and data sources that Congress did not authorize. Clover claims this is unlawful, and it dropped the rating from 3.5 rating to 3.5 stars instead of 4 stars. So the published rating is 3.5. Their target is 4 stars, and this has a financial impact of $120 million. That right there is pretty much profitability. You know what I mean? That's a lot, right? So with that, the court is a U.S. District Court for the Southern District of Georgia, and the beautiful part about this is it's Brunswick Division. I'm just curious. Based on 2026 election results, Brunswick County. No. Georgia. I'm trying to see if it's Democrat or Republican. It generally leans Republican. So it's interesting because it is kind of against the thing. So we'll see how they rule. But usually legal team doesn't really care about this, but you never know, right? You never know. So plaintiff is Clover Health, Medicare Advantage insurer. Defendant is HHS, CMS. Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. and the CMS administration, Dr. Oz. Filing is November 7th per the complaint. And what Clover wants is, hey, man, just recalculate us to 4 stars, brah. Right? So why us narrative, right? So Clover describes itself as an AI-powered Medicare Advantage plan using clinician tools, Clover Assistant, to support earlier diagnosis and guideline-based care. So they claim to serve over 100,000. We know that's true. It says it overperformed on traditional clinical measures, screenings, and chronic diseases, which is true. Argues those wins were discounted by non-clinical or procedural improper measures. So why Congress limited CMS's input? So back in 1997 to 2003, CMS had a broader flexibility. Plans complained about shifting measures and high admin costs. So in 2003, Congress limited types of data to what CMS collected by November 1st, 2003, unless CMS reports to Congress after consultation. In 2010, Congress tied star ratings to payment formulas and told CMS ratings must be based on data collected under the Quality Improvement Statute. Clover also cited MedPAC critiques that many star measures are weakly linked to meaningful outcomes. And the beautiful part about this is there's a little AI explainer, which then it kind of explains what's going on. But obviously, we don't need to explain this. It's pretty self-explanatory. So star ratings, so dozens of measures. You got screenings, disease control surveys, complaints, call center tests. So CMS converts raw results into a 1 to 5 star measure, often graded on a curve. CMS then computes the weighted average to get an overall rating. 4 stars is a big line. It affects statutory quality bonus payments and rebates per the complaint. So the core legal hook. So Clover main argument here is, I read through all this, right? Is Congress told CMS that that plan quality ratings must be based on data collected under the Medicare Advantage Quality Improvement Program statute 42 USC. I'm not a lawyer, whatever this is, right? So Clover says CMS instead used additional administrative and contractor-derived data. So they use data outside of what Congress approved. And even where CMS points to allowed measure systems, HEDIS, HOS caps, Clover says CMS used data types not collected as of November 1st, 2003. So they basically are using things that haven't been done since 03, okay? So their argument is essentially you took us from 4 stars to 3.5 stars, and that's going to have an impact of $120 million. Now, for the alleged error buckets, it shows you how many measures Clover ties to each theory. And really just to explain this complicated mess, this is where the AI screener can actually help us. So Clover is not relying on one argument. It's stacking several buckets, are basically different legal theories aimed at different parts. And this is all part of Al stock trades. Isn't this crazy how far we've become, right? Let me move the comments so we can see. So basically different legal theories aimed at different parts of the scoring system. So pretty much wrong data source not allowed. Data type is too new. So post 03, CMS didn't follow its own rulemaking steps, and some measures were irrational and gameable. One measure alleged lets contractors effectively decide Clover's score, which is not correct. So this increases the odds that at least something sticks, but it also means longer and more complex fights. So they really took this lawsuit seriously, and Clover is hitting them at multiple angles to where CMS needs more lawyers now. Here's the measure Clover flags. Let's go ahead and use the AI summary here. So these are specific measures Clover says should not have been used or were used unlawfully. Some have heavy weights, medication adherence measures, which can drag the overall rating. So you might argue, like, why are they saying about medication adherence? And I'm going to explain to you kind of why they mentioned that. And it'll be more clear later. So here are some concrete examples. So call centers, test calls, contractors place, foreign language, TTY calls. Clover says tiny technical issues can swing stars too much. Medication adherence. Clover says the measure penalizes plans when doctors direct patients to stop meds because it looks like non-adherence and a refill data. And what ends up happening is, the doctor's a doctor, right? Doctor says, hey, stop taking this. But then because there's a refill for it and then the patient doesn't take it, but the doctor ordered them not to take it. But it looks like they're not taking it because there's an extra refill. You see how that incorrectly takes $100 million from plus from Clover? It's wrong, right? Appeals upheld by a contractor. Clover argues an independent review entity contractor effectively decides the score, raising a private non-delegation issue. Potentially, is this reviewer from another company? Maybe, or is he paid off by Humana or United? Again, there's a lot of issues here. It's not CMS themselves doing it. So now let me go ahead and give you the timeline of the dispute, right? This is in the legal case, so you can see it here for yourself. So April 30th, 2025, Clover flags medication adherent cases were clinicians documented stopped meds for a valid reason. They're pretty much getting and showing CMS, hey, don't confuse this, please. Don't confuse this. All right. And again, right. So please don't confuse this. This is right. So May 21, 2025, Clover sends a broader data set, hundreds of members, arguing measures treat medically appropriated discontinuation as non-adherence. Like, hey, you're messing up with this. On August 6th, CMS releases the first plan preview data used for scoring. On September 9th, second plan view shows projected overall rating. Clover says it unexpectedly lands at 3.5 stars. So immediately, with a lot of people say, they're not helping shareholders, they're not working. Oh, shut up. Shut up. Shut up with your stupid self. Shut up. Silence. My brain can't handle stupidity. Shut up. Right? September 16, September 18, Clover asks CMS to exclude disputed measures. CMS declines. They said no, saying issues are outside preview scope. And then, they had their earnings, and then Clover within, October 9th, 2024, CMS publishes the final 26 ratings and 3.5 stars. And then what did Clover do? They said, let's go to court. We're suing you. So court number 1, star ratings based on data not collected under that statute. Again, I'm not a lawyer. Court account, I don't know what these statutes are. I have limitations, right? I can't know it all, right? Count, you guys, for any lawyers that are watching, please help us out here, right? As a community effort, right? So count number 2, star ratings based on post 2003 types of data. Count 3, CMS used new substantial, the changes measures without required notice and comment steps under CMS regulations. These are all things I don't really know about, right? This is just like things that are part of what the legal court case is. And then, so you can just read it. I'm not going to add any value here. I don't know a lot here. So what Clover asked the court to do. So Clover seeks orders that would vacate the 2026 ratings and force CMS to recalculate without the challenge measures, with Clover asking the court to direct a final rating of 4 stars. They're like, literally, give us 4 stars. And Andrew Torrey, when he said that we want 4 stars, we want it. They want it. They want it hard. I mean, they're going after CMS, and CMS needs to, you got Dr. Oz begging for lawyers right now, because what ends up happening is if Clover wins this lawsuit, that means they're going to have to recalculate everyone, and CMS is going to probably have to lose an additional $1 billion because all the other insurers are probably going to do the same thing and cite Clover's case, right? Which then Clover's going to be really good. So, declare the use of listed measures unlawful as applied to Clover's 2026 rating. I haven't been live for a long time, guys. Oh, and the tokenization. Maybe, and I do see that Vlad from Robinhood is talking about tokenization. I'm not an expert in it, but I am actively learning it. I'm reading it about it. But I have seen it. But I'm not an expert yet. Okay, or at least like comfortable like talking about it. Again, So I don't know. I'm still learning. Okay, now orders recap for tokenization stuff, right? But orders recalculation on an expedited timeline. The complete reference is May 29, 2026. Window for updates. So they're saying, hey, let's we got to get this updated quickly, so we could so we're going to hear about this soon. We might hear about this by May 29, 2026, because it's important, because it needs to be in a timely manner, because then Clover is going to have to adjust its benefits, right? So award costs and attorney fees. So what Clover's saying is, hey, CMS, you better recalculate us, give us the 4 stars, and you're going to pay for our legal fees, and you're going to take me out to dinner. So cases Clover cites, these are like cases in the past that highlights this as an idea that these are all the cases, right? You can go ahead and read them, right? You can just listen to the AI explainer. So these citations are tools Clover uses to frame the judge's decision, clear statutory text, Medicare notice and comments, rules, all these other things. And the point is, they're citing these strong cases. It helps, but the real question is whether the judge thinks they apply cleanly to the star ratings. So I went ahead and I did a statistical analysis. So here's my method. Again, this is all theoretical. I'm not a lawyer. Remember, we are not lawyers. We do not know I'm not. I don't know how a judge is going to decide. I am not a judge. I'm not a judge. I did have one day when I was a third-year medical student. I did have a patient that was a judge. That was pretty cool. We had a good time to talk. But okay, now methods. Now that's all. The only thing I know about judges. I had a patient that was a judge. He was really cool. He was badass. Anyway, so method. We treat the complaint's strongest points here as evidence. We have the CMS admissions, procedural claims cited. We did a Bayesian likelihood ratio distribution, and really just kind of the main thing here is we have a conservative case, 40%, 4 times out of 10 they're going to win. A base case of 60, which is pretty good, and an optimistic of 75. So I would say 6 out of 10. Again, pretty halfway in there, so we'll see. More leaning towards yes than no, I guess. So about 6 out of. So if we do Doctor Strange's analogy, 6 out of 10 realities, we're going to make it, and we're going to get those 4 stars. But it's that 40%. But again, that math alone really can't justify this. It needs. We need to wait to see what they say. But from this largely, statutory authority procedure fights, what CMS can use, and hopefully, Clover wins. They can get their 4 stars, and hopefully this will change kind of what CMS is doing. The thing is, what CMS did is they're using stuff from 2003, and this is a big deal because this is going to really hinder CMS, which is why they want lawyers right now. And this, the fact that Dr. Oz is asking for lawyers, I can just go ahead and I could just show you really quickly here. Give me a moment. Let me go ahead and remove the screen here so we can go ahead and add the voice, the audio. Let's see what he says.
I've been a heart surgeon, TV show host, but the best job I've ever had is the one I'm in right now. As the administrator of CMS, I get to work with wonderful people. That's why I love the job. Folks who gave up something to come into government and serve their fellow American. If you feel that same passion in your heart, come join us. We need more folks. What makes this job great are the people in it. You'll enjoy it as well, but you'll also make a difference. You'll be able to do things that change the lives of millions of Americans for the better. And you can help us with our mission, which is to make sure that we provide incentives for folks to do the right thing in healthcare, that we empower our patients, and we cut out the fraud, waste, and abuse. There's lots of things to do here. Come on down and help. And if you're a lawyer, I'm talking to you because we are way down a number of lawyers in the agency. We need your help, so come on down. This is a general.
Yeah, so I think that's pretty bullish for Clover. I don't know. We'll see, but kind of funny. I want to comment on this, and I want to say, Dr. Oz, just let Clover win the lawsuit. I want to comment so badly and say, let them win. This is the data. You're a scientist. Give them the win. I might actually think I might do that. I might do it. I might say, listen, give them the win. What are you doing? But we'll see. I'll stay out of it. I'll let Clover do its thing. I won't get involved. I won't get involved. That's fine. I want to, but I won't get involved. Okay, so now that we went ahead and did that, let's go ahead and stop sharing real quick here. Again, let's go ahead and let me just share the screen real quick here. For folks out there that are interested, we still have the New Year sale. Take advantage. It's coupon code New Year. I want to go ahead and show you the website. I'm really proud of. I'm really proud of it. This no longer looks like the typical Al Stock Trades website. You could see that this looks legit. You have a Jarvis here.
I am Jarvis, the artificial intelligence created by Dr. Al to be your weapon against Wall Street. Institutions pay $30,000 a year for data and tools that crush retail traders every single day. I process 2.5 billion institutional grade
I went ahead and I turned them off, but you could see that we were actually a software, and soon this will be moldable to you. This is real time. We got real time data, AI detection software. You could see the future of where Al Stock Trades is headed. A lot of people made fun of us when I was first starting off. I mean, listen, I'm not comparing myself to Jeff Bezos, but remember Jeff when he hand sprayed Amazon sign in above his desk. People like made fun of him. I used to have an Excel spreadsheet, and what I did is I programmed and coded on the Excel spreadsheet because I was so busy with the whole medical school and research, and people like made fun of me. They're not laughing anymore, and soon in the next 5 years, they certainly won't be laughing. So just like Dr. Oz is saying, if you want way out, if you want access to data lifetime that you can pass on to your children, yes, you can pass down the software to your children. Give me a software that does that. Now, in the future, though, we will be removing that. I'm sure there will be a time where, I will have to. I'm not going to be here anymore, God forbid, right? And this will be the software will go somewhere, and lifetime access probably won't be there, but the people that were promised lifetime access will be grandfathered in. And yeah, so that's the whole thing. And yeah, the access terminal, and yeah, so that's all I have. I'm very excited with what I created, and I hope that you enjoyed this video. I worked my ass off building this. I gained a lot of weight building this. I tell you, I gained a lot of weight. I killed myself building this. And I hope that now from the front end, you see exactly why the lifetime access members are happy on the back end. There's a lot of data flooding in here. And not only do you get access to Al Stock Trades, I also pull stuff from other places that I like, that I pay for. Like, for example, Tradealytics. That would cost you $60 a month to get access to. It's included. I put it in here. I pay for it. So, if it's good, I bring it. Unusual whales, I have it in here. They're Discord data with a dark pool and all that. And right now, I am in talks with Ortex, and I'm seeing what they can do for me. If not, I can go ahead and build my own. But yeah, I'm always building, and I'm trying to. I use them. Yeah, of course. Exactly. Yeah. So yeah. No, and I get it, Johnny. You definitely feel upset, and at the end of the day, again, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not advised to do anything with finance. I'm just a guy who got tired of the poor getting poorer. Please watch the video, and just from my educational perspective, just to see kind of what happened to Palantir, AMD, Dave Stock, Carvana, CVNA, Tesla, and the list goes on, Enphase and all that, and Clover. How it went down to 61 cents before it went up to 700 plus %, 7-bagger. But yeah, I hope this video was helpful. This was a long video, but I haven't seen you guys in a while, and you can see there's a lot of data here, a lot of data. But that's all I have for you guys. If you guys are interested in getting lifetime access, use coupon code New Year. It will be expiring, I would say, in about, let me see. I'm probably gonna leave it for just one more week, and then we're gonna have to move on. We're gonna have to update prices, because I have to hand code the new prices now, which is gonna be annoying. So we're gonna have to up the prices. But yeah, that's all I have for you guys. I'll see you on the next one, and God bless you all.